Hello and welcome to KLM Institute.
Today's top story highlights a major regional development that is affecting South Asia's economy, diplomacy, and trade. Tensions between India and Bangladesh have risen sharply after a series of bold moves by both nations, triggered by Bangladesh's recent decision to allow China access to its airspace near a sensitive part of India. In April 2025, Bangladesh gave permission to China to operate close to the Siliguri Corridor. This narrow 22-kilometer stretch, also called the Chicken's Neck, connects India's northeastern states to the mainland. It's a lifeline for India's military and logistics. China's presence near this corridor is seen by India as a serious security threat. This move from Dhaka is being viewed as a shift toward deeper ties with Beijing and part of China's bigger strategy to increase its influence in South Asia. In response, India took a strong step. On April 9, 2025, it withdrew the transshipment facility that allowed Bangladeshi goods to pass through Indian ports and airports to third countries like Nepal and Bhutan. The Indian Ministry of External Affairs said this decision was made because of actions taken by Dhaka, including the suspension of Indian yarn imports and the closure of key land ports on the border. This move has caused major disruptions in Bangladesh's export sector. Many international clothing brands, like Zara, used the Indian route to ship garments quickly to Europe and other markets. Now, with India's ports no longer available, Bangladeshi exporters are forced to reroute shipments through Sri Lanka, Singapore, and the Maldives, which adds both time and cost. Interestingly, even before India's decision, Bangladesh had already started restricting trade. In February, Bangladesh banned the import of Indian cotton yarn through land ports. The Bangladesh Textile Mills Association supported this move, claiming that illegal smuggling of yarn was hurting local industries. A committee in Bangladesh also recommended closing several land ports with India, including Chilahati, Daulatganj, and Tegamuk, and suggested limiting access for Indian transport trucks. These actions have had a serious impact on Indian exporters, especially those in Gujarat and West Bengal. India exports about 95% of its cotton yarn to Bangladesh. With the sudden stop in trade, many yarn manufacturers now face cancelled orders, unsold stock, and the risk of shutting down operations. Some Indian businesses are now looking for alternative markets in countries like Vietnam, Sri Lanka, and in Africa, but shifting supply chains takes time. Beyond trade, this situation is affecting diplomatic relations and the future of regional cooperation. Bangladesh's closer alignment with China in defense and infrastructure projects could reshape the balance of power in South Asia. On the other side, India is reviewing its neighborhood-first policy and using trade as a tool to protect its strategic interests. Both countries are feeling the heat economically. In Bangladesh, garment exporters are losing money and struggling to meet deadlines. In India, cotton and yarn producers are facing big losses and layoffs. Investors on both sides are now cautious, as the tension creates uncertainty in cross-border business projects. What started as an airspace agreement with China has turned into a full-blown regional crisis. The fallout has reached businesses, trade routes, and even the common people working in industries that depend on smooth India-Bangladesh relations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had earlier shown a willingness to build constructive ties with Bangladesh. But now, those hopes seem uncertain, as both countries dig in their heels. The next few weeks will be very important. Will India and Bangladesh return to the table for talks, or will this standoff grow into a long-term disruption with wider effects on South Asia's economy and security? Thanks for tuning in to this important update from KLM Institute. For more simplified and sharp coverage of global affairs, keep following us for regular updates and analysis.